Joining us this morning is Cowen Senior Research Analyst Krish Sankar. Talk about the chips, TSM, Krish, and just how much the sector has added in the last, say, month or so. What do you think is happening overall before we get specifically to Taiwan Semi?
Yeah, sure. Hey, thanks for having me, Carl. I would say that what you've seen so far is the market has been discounting negative news for a while. And in the last 3 months or so, what you've seen is semiconductor companies are coming out and acknowledging demand weakness. And consequently, you're seeing estimates get revised downwards for next year. And that's kind of been a de-risking event for the stock. So if you strip out the macro aside, investors are willing to get into these names now that some of the fundamental headwinds have been removed as management acknowledges demand weakness and numbers get reset.
Right. So all the price action that we've seen all year starting to get validated. What do you think's behind Berkshire's bet? And if you were to try to describe that bull thesis, would it align with your coverage of the universe right now?
Sure. So we actually have a market perform rating on TSM. First and foremost, best of breed company, the best foundry in the world. They know how to execute really well. They are one of the leading edge manufacturers and probably the only game in town for sub 5 nanometer today technology. So from that standpoint, I would definitely say that, the company makes a lot of sense. We definitely like the company, not the stock. From a stock standpoint, if you look at how the stock has behaved in the last year and a half, the stock usually moves, besides today because of Berkshire news, historically has moved based on price action, where the ASPs move higher and gross margins move higher. Now you're beginning to see into next year, ASP is going to moderate and gross margins are kind of peaking. So that's why we're more on the sidelines and prefer a better entry point. But from a pure quality of company standpoint, it's definitely best of breed.
We get more earnings from more within the sector this week. NVIDIA, which I don't think you cover, but Applied Materials as well, which I know you do. I guess talk to me about some of those manufacturers, the manufacturers of equipment to manufacture the chips.
Yeah, absolutely, Morgan. So I think, when the other peers, which is ASML, KLA, Lam Research reported last month, you kind of saw a de-risking for semi equipment also, where company management came and said next year CapEx is going to be down. And that is basically, you're kind of going into a cyclical downturn. And the same thing happened where numbers got de-risked and investors started getting into semi-cap equipment. I would say since mid-October, they've relatively outperformed the market, kind of like the same thing thesis as in semi. So I expect the same thing from Applied Materials on Thursday when they report. People expect weakness, but that's already in the stock at this point.
Okay. The idea of supply chain diversification, whether it's the CHIPS Act here or the fact that you have Europe looking to stand up more of its own semiconductor manufacturing as well, does this buoy these names over the coming years despite the cyclicality?
Absolutely. I think if you talk to many of these company management, they'll acknowledge it too. I would say that the localization of supply chain, as you mentioned, whether it's in the US, Europe, or even Japan, is actually a huge benefit for semi-cap equipment. When these transitions happen, it's never seamless. There's definitely going to be a lot of inefficiencies, but those inefficiencies are actually positive for equipment companies because you tend to buy a lot more equipment. So I think over the next 3 to 5 years, I would say as these government funding starts rolling out and the build out of fabs across the globe starts happening, it's actually a net positive for semiconductor equipment companies.
And speaking of that as well, Krish, the president and President Xi, a lot's been written past 24 hours about their meeting, and to the degree it was constructive. Do we think this week will mark a turning point in managing that kind of economic cooperation or competition and their access to companies like ASML?
It's tough to say, to be quite honest. I mean, obviously, last month we saw U.S. put export controls on certain specific Chinese semiconductor companies, and that really impacted the U.S. semi-equipment companies, not at ASML, which is based in Netherlands, or even at Tokyo Electron in Japan. But you'll still see some contagion effect because if those Chinese customers cannot get U.S. tools, they might not even necessarily need to buy the non-U.S. tools. So you'll definitely see some of that impact. It's very hard to handicap how these political things would play out. I mean, on the point of Taiwan Semi, investors do ask once in a while what happens with China. Taiwan happens. I think it's a very hard question to answer because nobody knows the timeline for that. But if you strip aside the politics, I think, and some of the macro-related concerns, I would say largely many of the negative news in semi equipment land has been already like discounted in the stocks.
Right. Obviously, a tough space to read right now, Krish. Appreciate it very much. Good to see you. Talk soon, I hope.
Thanks for having me.